morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Welcome to bright and sunshiny Winnipeg. In fact, it's so nice this morning I've got most of my windows open. Let the nice cool breeze cool the house down. I was noticing last night it got pretty hot here in the house. I was thinking, should I turn the air conditioner on? No. Anyway, I got the windows open, cool the house down. Maybe I can not have to turn on the AC that much sooner. Okay. Now, this morning, I didn't see the walkers. Doesn't mean that they didn't come by. It just means that I didn't see them when I looked. And like I mentioned before, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time prying into other people's business, which I guess in a way is sort of what we're doing. We did get the sunrise though. Nothing special, just nice. I'll put it overhead here. All right, now I was reminded by one of the viewers that I had forgotten to tell the story about disconnecting the battery. Now, you would think my car is just right out there, and you would think it would be really easy to go and lift the hood, or the bonnet, as you say in some parts of the world, and disconnect the battery. But you know, it's a funny thing. When you get older, little tasks that you normally wouldn't bother you to do, you kind of get uptight about it. And the thought of going out there and disconnecting the battery, all sorts of scenarios start going through your head, like, what if when I connect it, nothing works? Okay, so here's the story. Many of you viewers who have been with me for a long time will know that years ago, when my mom was still alive and she lived in Kelowna, British Columbia, I used to take the bus from Winnipeg to Kelowna and back. And the reason I would take the bus is because I had a bus pass, a free pass. I could ride Greyhound for free. And so I think about the first 16 years, I've forgotten now. If I think of it, I'll post all the different times that I took. I kept a record. And all the different trips I made and when I made them and so on. Anyway, enough about that. On one of these trips, coming back, it was the dead of winter. And we were about 100 miles this side of Calgary at some little town, which I tried to find on the Google map this morning, and I couldn't find it. Because I thought, Street View, I should be able to go and look exactly where it was that the incident happened. So anyway, the driver goes into this little town in the middle of the night, and in most of these little towns, they have what they call lock boxes. And if there's a passenger happens to be standing there, well, of course, he gets on or they get off, whatever the case might be. But if he has any express, he puts it in what's known as a lock box. And he just goes in. Anyway, I'm giving you way more details than you need here. We want to know about the computer. Okay, so when he goes into this little town, I think he was almost in it, and all of a sudden, every single idiot light on his dash lights up. Every light that could possibly light up. I mean, it was just there in his face, and I was sitting near the front of the bus, so I could see this. And I'm thinking, no, this doesn't look good. Anyway, he stops his bus, and I think he tries a restart, and it's like he shuts down, and then he restarts it, and it's still there. And then he says, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to disconnect the battery. Everything's going to go out on the bus. And he did. He went out, and when he disconnected the battery, it got deathly quiet in the bus. All you could hear was people breathing. It was eerie. Now you got to remember, this is like probably around 2 in the morning, because it seems to me we'd left Calgary around midnight. It was back when the schedule started to deteriorate with Greyhound. When I first started taking Greyhound back and forth to my mom's place, they had reduced it from 5 trips a day east and west out of Winnipeg to only 3. And I think this was about the time that they got to the place where they'd reduced it to just 1 trip a day. Anyway, we'd left around midnight, and it was the dead of winter, the middle of the night, nobody around, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And we're in this little town, and where are you going to get help if the bus won't restart? Anyway, he disconnects the battery. He waits a little, about a minute, I guess. And then when he reconnected it and came back into the bus and flipped the power switch, I guess the master, everything was normal. There was nothing wrong with the bus. It was the computer was saying there's something wrong when there really isn't. Now, these buses that we got, well, I say we because I was with the bus. That's where I made my living. Anyway, these buses that we had, the newer ones were all computerized, and the one batch of them in particular, they did crazy things. Like you'd be going down the road and the horn would start to blow and it wouldn't stop. And the only way you could stop the horn was to pull the fuse. I used to know what fuse number it was. I think it was something like fuse number 56 or something. You pop that fuse, and then, of course, the horn would go out, but then you couldn't beep it either. Okay. That is my story about the computer and rebooting it. Now, I still have to go to my car there and disconnect my battery and wait a while and then connect it back up and see if that's my problem, because it's funny that I've got so many different things that are going wrong. First of all, it told me that my emissions control wasn't working. Then it told me that my hill assist, which I've never used and I didn't even know my car had it, my hill assist start wasn't working. And then it says my traction control isn't working. And my cruise control isn't working. There's just too much that all went wrong all at the same time that makes you think it's the computer. It's not like the oil light went on and you go and you pull the dipstick and you don't see any oil. I mean, it wasn't anything like that. Anyway, what are we going to do today? Okay, what we are going to do today is paint this. It almost looks like it is painted. That's the problem when you're using paint that's the same color as the plastic. It's hard to tell. No, it's not painted. Okay, we're going to paint this and this and this with the 338. We're going to spray it. At least that's the plan. I think that's how things are going to go. There's a lot of other stuff I got to do. Now, I was just wondering if possibly in this module that we're making right now, which I think takes up 2 or 3 steps here. Okay, we're in step 31 right now. So we've got these 3 pieces here that have to be painted. And but if we go to step 32, is there anything else that should be painted to 338 at the same time? Yes, it looks like Q25. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Q25 should be painted that color. What about Q11? Okay, Q11, that's the same. This is the same piece as this. Yeah, I think that I should dig out these other pieces because we don't get to the next module. Okay, we're in step 34 now, and I do believe we've got the deck painted already. I'm not sure what color this is supposed to be. In other words, maybe I should just get some more parts here so that save myself some time later. And yet, on the other hand, I'm probably gonna have to repaint it, paint stuff later anyway. Okay. I'm kind of undecided here. All right. What other news have we got? I don't have any other news. I think we should just sort of recompose and get into it. Oh, I did go to the Honda dealer here in Winnipeg yesterday, and I picked up some O-rings that I needed. Some of you will have seen that already on the bike ride episode. I'm having a real hard time getting going this morning. Real hard time. I don't know why. Probably because I've got so much other things going on and that maybe are a little bit more important than the model table. Hey, there's nothing more important than the model table. Yeah, there is. There's life. Okay, let's recompose. I guess the next step is to get my spray booth over here and let us spray.
There's Uncle Ron. Hi, Uncle Ron.
You gonna come and get it? Or are you gonna make me bring it to you? Uh-huh. Did you have a nice walk? You have a nice walk this morning? You have a nice walk this morning? Okay.
Bumped into Ollie from across the street. She's a Bichon, part poodle. They galloped around. Got the leashers all spared. But the young girl, Ollie's mistress, sort of, she was very good at untangling, which is good. So they're calling for thunderstorms, are they?
Yeah, 60% chance, I think it said.
Boy, it's pretty nice right now. The air is strong out of the east, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is perfect. So you like that flavor, do you?
Looking at a video on YouTube, there's a man up by Swan River stopped his car and he videoed 2 tornadoes, one on each side of him.
In Swan River?
Yeah, those tornadoes that came out of Saskatchewan up through that corner of the province.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that far north.
There you go. Push forward. She was very good this morning. I told her, sit several times, and she sat on command, which is her one trick. She doesn't heel, but she doesn't pull as hard as she used to either.
So how are your eyes here? Oh, she's getting that stuff in her eyes again, Max.
The right eye and the left eye.
Both of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We keep an eye on it, and if it doesn't improve, we tell the vet on Monday.
Yeah. Okay, if you're looking at the clock here, you'll know that quite a bit of time has passed since we were out there with Missy the dog. And when I was out there, I was talking with my neighbor, and not everything that we say is on camera, by the way. So you didn't hear him say this, but he was saying something to the effect of that if I were you, I would reschedule my day and go out for my ride now. Being as the weather is, we were supposed to have 60% chance of thunder showers this afternoon. So that's what I did. I've been outside. I went for quite a ride. I went to the old neighborhood. I went up the street where I used to live, where I moved in 1965 as a very young man with my parents, and I went in the other direction. Normally when I go down that street, I go from west to east, and I pass the house that we lived in on my right side. This time I started from the Henderson Highway side, and I went the other way. In other words, I went up the street in the same direction the very first time I ever saw it, back in 1965. And yeah, so that was kind of nostalgic, you might say. Okay, so we've got these two pieces here, the Q25 and the Q11, and as near as I can tell, they are the only two pieces in step 32. We're still in 31, by the way, but they're the only two pieces that are going to need to be painted the same color as these other three. Now there is more stuff on the Q sprue that I could get, and but it's not going to be painted the 338. Okay, now, so what's with all this stuff here? All right, here's what happened. Yesterday, I went to Canadian Tire. I think it was yesterday, and I bought this adapter to go on the end of my motorcycle filter, make it a lot easier to get it off. And in the manual, they give you the specs that you tighten this filter on to 19 foot-pounds. So in order to do it, you have to put your torque wrench on it. Well, my torque wrench has a 1/2-inch drive, and I have no adapter to go down to 3/8 inch. Okay, so I talked to the first person I saw, and told him what I wanted, and he called somebody over who was a woman who had obviously been there for 1,000 years. Because I said what I wanted, and she said something to the effect of "follow me." She went to a locked case, reached in, and she says, "Which one do you want? Do you want the one that's designed for high impact, or the regular?" And I said, "I want the cheapest one." So she hands me this one. I get to the checkout, and I ring it all through, and my bill comes to almost $30. Well, that's $29.10. And I knew that this thing was like $8 or $9, and so I said, "Well, how much was this?" And so she tells me $14.99 or whatever. And I'm thinking, what? And I'm thinking, now what do I do? Because I knew there was something wrong with that price. It was just ridiculous. In my mind, I was thinking like $5, which, as it turns out, is the exact same price that Princess Auto will sell you one of these for. I'm not going to take the plug out, because maybe you can't get it back in and it's not returnable anymore. I don't know. But anyway, I went online when I got home here. Went on Amazon, good old Amazon, and to find out how much they were selling it for. And it turns out there are places that will sell you just this, but also there's places that sell you like a kit, a whole bunch of stuff. So here is 4 of these things. This is actually the same as sized, let's put it that way, as this one. And and all of this stuff delivered to my door in less than 24 hours. Can you believe it? In less than 24 hours. It must have come from their Winnipeg warehouse. All of this stuff delivered to the door was just under $10. Now I know that this is probably the only piece I'm going to use. I don't think I'll ever use this other stuff, but it's just, I know somebody's going to say, "Oh, but the quality's not the same." Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to work just fine. This will fit my torque wrench, and this end will fit the oil filter remover. Oh, I'm avoiding getting into spraying, aren't I? I'm looking for any excuse not to have to drag my spray booth over here. I don't know why. because once I get started at it, I seem to really enjoy it. So, is there anything else I can do to kill time here? Now let's set up for the spray booth here. Okay, I am trying now not to touch this surface here with my greasy fingers, especially after handling the blue tack. And the reason being is I've just cleaned these parts off in the ultrasonic cleaner and vinegar. So now this one I did not put in the ultrasonic cleaner because it's painted on this side. But what I did do was I carefully swabbed it off with a sponge here, and then dried it with a paper towel. So this one here is this one here we're going to have to be careful when we're painting it. And I'm hoping that the blue tack now is not going to spoil that. It may not. I can't remember. We just want to have something so that we can, spray. Okay, we got that one. Now this one here, we are going to go something like this. Yeah, I think that'll work. This one gets painted on this side. I don't want to press too hard here and break it. Whoops. Now this cloth is still damp from the vinegar, so I don't think it picked up anything. I'm just trying to keep it as pristine as possible. So if I find that I've got beading going on from my paint, I know it's not because it's not clean, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to have a problem with these. So we got these 5 pieces now to paint. And what do we got here? It's almost 1:30 in the afternoon. I know you're going to say, oh, here we go again. But I just don't feel like doing spraying right now. So we're all set up. We're ready to go. I think maybe I'll just continue on and actually get ready to actually do it. And then tomorrow morning, when I'm feeling all full of vim and vigor, then we'll go at it. Just let me push stop here for a minute, and I'll get everything all ready to go. Okay, we are basically ready to go here, except for the time. And I'm guessing about an hour ago, maybe a little more, neighbor comes by with Missy for Missy's afternoon dog cookie, which she got. But anyway, the comment was made about how warm it was outside. So when I came back to the model table, I took a look, and sure enough, outside, at least the outside sensor says 31.2 degrees. And now I don't think it's quite that warm, even though the sensor is in the shade. I think it's getting a reflection off the neighbor's house. However, inside here at the model table, this one says 28.2 and this one says 27.3. So it's not that hot here at the model table, but it's nice, very pleasant. Got a nice breeze wafting through here. Humidity is only 41%. That's not bad. Okay, we are basically ready to go, except for the person who is lacking mojo. Trying to make a little rhyme there. Must be pretty bad poetry if I have to tell you that it was a rhyme, right? Okay, yeah, I'm going to wind her up here for this afternoon. And we're ready to go for tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we will see you tomorrow.